Hey guys, and welcome back. We're now in the semi-final of the losers bracket. We've just had Jathura knocked down from the winners bracket 2-0 by Postage. If you haven't gone and seen those games yet, go on and watch them. They're fairly decent ZVZs, so go check them out if you haven't seen the VODs already. And now we have Jathura taking on Phonic in the lower bracket semi-final. We've got a ZVP. I'm not quite sure what map this is. I forgot to pay attention, but that's alright. So in the bottom right hand corner of the map we have our purple Zerg player Jathura, and then in the upper left hand side of the map we have our green Protoss Phonic, who throws out the easy, which hopefully doesn't come to bite him in the ass, because that is one way to definitely make sure you not look for retard, but go for retard. Jathura throwing out the ARG, and I wonder what kind of a build we'll be seeing out of him. So an extract trick coming out straight away, and Phonic takes off on his journey in order to find out. So the EPM spam coming from Phonic as well, as we saw from Postage in the last game. So this probe takes out on his quest. Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Takes out on his quest. Let's think of the wording of this. Alright, so we'll open the production tab meanwhile. Sets out on his journey to find the enemy's base. Going for a Forge Fast Expand as well at his main. So there we go, we got there in the end, guys. We got there in the end. Unfortunately, the Overlord for Jathura is going to take a shit ton of time to not only get there, realise it's the wrong base, and then get... Alright, so what happened then was I decided to change settings in-game because I was lagging, because we had our internet capped, and both of them in the disconnect screen said chill, get out, and they bonded a little. Guys. They're now stronger as a thing, an entity. So Jathura going for a hatch, an earliest hatch maybe. There we go, bang, locking it in. Just get that extra 2 supply as well, so he doesn't have to build that Overlord. So the probe just absolutely wailing away here at that spawning pool, but unfortunately for Phonic, that spawning pool regens life with the +1 armor, or just the armor of 1. What up? Also, the Nexus being thrown down as a result of the Forge Fast Expand, and that cannon being chucked down as well. And maybe a gateway in the next couple of minerals as well. There we go, that's what we like to see. Fantastic. So as I was saying, this Overlord's going to get there, realise after a moment of elation that he's been able to get to this base after such a long and arduous journey. He realised that there is no player there. He might get a bit depressed, might feel a bit alone, a bit ashamed, a bit useless, and then hopefully he'll be queued up to move on to his next position, and if he actually moves over to this position, he might just end it, or it could end tragically if he flies into the direct route of this cannon and Jathura is not able to react quickly enough. So the forward pylon of Phonic being spotted by this Zergling, and this Zergling being one of the most cost efficient agents for the Overmind. Something that costs 25 minerals, taking down something that costs 100 in the early stages of a game is definitely worth its weight in gold. So good job there, Agent Zergling. And look, here come the other Zerglings just to steal his glory. Do you get kills for killing buildings? You wouldn't know. Oh shit, you do! Alright, so we've got the Commander Zergling. The Zergling who is the commander of the others at the moment. So he's always got a strong spot in our heart, guys. And if we have a look now, there is that small gap for the Zealot to fit through at that wall in, but that cannon should be fine, and I wonder if that Zealot will make it out in time. It should do, but if not, it'll get maybe 1 or 2. So it'll definitely make it out in time to force the wall in. And we see the the cybernetics core, I apologise, being thrown down behind the wall so far back that if these lings were to push up, I don't believe that they'd have vision of that. So here we go. The Overlord is now on its journey. It's going to be hitting the right spot. It'll just take a lot longer as it traverses this deep, never-ending cavern, it looks like. Oh no, there's some trees down there. There's some trees. Oh, and there's even a waterfall. What a pretty scenery it is. Alright. So it will eventually reach there, but I'm not sure how good it'll be for that early scouting. So Jathura knows that he's not spawned there or there. So, and it might even be a race or a journey to the centre of the earth as both these overlords try and compete for the Overmind's affection. So the Rotorone being thrown down as part of the wall at the expansion, the natural expansion I should say, of Jathura, as well as a spine crawler, just for a bit of static defence. And it looks like Phonic's going for a chrono boosted out warp gate technology. And it looks like he wants to take his third, but this Zealot does not want that to happen. Or he might be throwing down some proxies of some sort, as he is floating quite a shit ton of minerals, as the English dictionary tells me that is a standard unit of measurement. So 4 Zealots on the way now, and by the time that they're out, that warp gate research should nearly be finished as well, because it's got 20 seconds left, and so do these Zealots. Plus the chrono boost will mean it'll get out even faster. So we'll just have a look at the supplies at the moment, and we see that Jathura is ahead in the old work supply, but slightly behind in army supply, and that's just because he's been droning and owning. And what a cruel twist of fate for that poor Zealot. Sorry, friend. Not much else you can do in that situation. They really need to fix that. But there was nowhere else he could have spawned. That was a bit of a goose. Alright, so that cannon gets the 1 kill. Those lings, they see that warp gate's already done, so it kind of defeats the purpose of hiding that cybernetics core. But who cares? Worked out in the end. So taking up on all the towers. And where did Phonic... Oh, hello. What have we got here? A photon cannon being thrown down there. I wonder why that is. What's here? So it might be able to do nothing, it looks like. Just a bit of map vision, I guess. That's a bit weird. And all these... Oh shit. Why does he have that many Zealots? And that many Stalkers? That means only one thing and one... That means one thing and one thing only, guys. He's pushing out for an attack. But what he doesn't know, on the other hand, is that there is quite a lot of roaches, and if Jathura is able to kite those roaches properly with the speed upgrade and attack... Oh, that's right, I remember now, guys. Going into this game, Phonic thought, let's mix things up. Let's get a build that no one else has really done in this tournament, and so he looked up the slash dance build, which is to get a bunch of gateways, build a bunch of zealots, and then do the old slash dance on the units. So unfortunately he is supply locked as well, so he throws down the skill pylons all around his base, and he might be even able to chuck down a couple of cannons to defend against the mutalisks that will be coming on in. So if we look at the income tab, we see that Jathura could probably actually, because there isn't any real early aggression on the way, and he does have quite a sizable amount of roaches, those 24 there, he could actually drone quite a fair bit harder, get that gas count up nice and high, and then he'd be able to even, do pretty much a full swap into mutalisks if he was so inclined to do so. Postage, not postage, Phonic. Postage is me. Whoops. Phonic chrono boosting out the +2 weapons upgrade, and accidentally chrono boosting out the warp gate. Now, I wonder, leave in the comments below, guys, as the first engagement occurs with the charge lots not doing anything. If you chrono boost out a warp gate, does it reduce the cooldown time of units? Because they take roughly, let's say, 30 seconds to cool down. Let's see, 15, yep, so we'll call it 15. Takes out that to Do you really need to take out that? Oh yeah, he's got quite a few gates as well. And is circling, standing right where it needs to. It still thinks that there is a gateway there though, and he's going to get a rude shock. But he does end up seeing that there is no gateway there now. So we jump on through. So a bunch of Hydralisks on the way now just to join and add the DPS to the army. So that'll be key for destroying all those charge lots. Oh, sounds like we've got a waterfall. Ah, there it is. Very nice. I love doing that. Anyway, so Phonic expanding out to take his third, but will this probe make it back alive? No. Unfortunately, this Zergling joins the ranks of its comrade. That was... Ooh, but that one got disintegrated. So, this will come down to an epic battle. Let's get into the battle screen, guys. It's all going to depend on how quickly he is able to do this. And if there is going to be... Alright, so here we go. So the charge lot's coming out now. The Stalker's getting a fairly good concave. A couple of them firing back. More charge lots are needed in the mix. The resupplying roaches come in. Quite a decent amount of damage being done. The wall pin comes in to get the surround around the back as well. And this is going to look like being a fairly good engagement, but he wasn't able to force them in, and he needs to be pulling back now or else he's going to lose quite a few Stalkers to this. Ooh, I'm not sure about turning around and engaging there. There's quite a bit of free supply that he's throwing away now, and he needs to send these guys on home. There's nothing more that they can do in this battle. That roach just regenerating some life very nicely. Is there any difference? No, there's no difference between one that is burrowed and one that is not. So a bunch of Zerglings ready to do a bit of a run by, and 8 Mutalisks on the way as well. So at this stage, Phonic needs to be throwing down, as I said before, a shit ton more gateways, just to be trying to spend a bit of this bank. Ooh, and where did he spend that? Over here. Trying to kite these guys off creep, which is what he'll need to do in order to whittle down the numbers, but I have a feeling that these Mutalisks are going to be the death, as they're just going to go in and harass until he's got nothing left to defend. So starting to run fairly low on minerals and such in the main, so he does need to push out and take that third as soon as he can. And then from there he might be able to regather himself and engage on his own terms. So another engagement here. Nice little concave there by the Zealots. And it looks like Jathura just has too much at the moment. And this is another bunch of free supply as Phonic now dips to 100 less than his opponent. I think this is going to be GG with the Mutalisks coming in now to take apart what is left of Phonic's economy. Oops, why would I turn on APM counter? What am I doing? And here comes the engagement down here. And all these probes being oh so vital and important. And pulling out before even taking a hit. So that's some really nice play there by Jathura, just doing the nice little harass, and he could even probably push around into the main and kill a couple more free probes. But Phonic sensing that, pulls up and tries to get a bit defensive, but it looks like it's a little too late now, and all Jathura needs to do is probably take a fourth as he's starting to float a bit of money now. Instead he opts to go for that hive tech to get those upgrades, and even infested tech is on the way, so he might be going for a switch altogether. These Mutalisks not meeting up with their friends, and this will just come down to the last engagement, I guess. I mean, unless this game goes on for another 30 minutes or so, we're not going to be seeing any kind of mothership clutch play, I don't think. There's a bit too much damage has been sustained by Phonic, and he starts to float that 2k gas, which is not necessarily a good sign. Ooh, a couple of free Mutalisks maybe. Unfortunately, Blink is not completed as of yet. And he pulls the old 1-2 step out of the way. And 4 Infestors on the way as well. So here the Mutalisks come up into the main now. They're pushing forward. They're probably going to take out a few free pylons. No, they're going straight for that working line. Here we go. Focusing on the Forge that's actually doing nothing at the moment. A couple of sentries being warped in for Phonic. That goes down. His gas production's going to be going down as well. No. It looks like he's seeking for the Artosis pylon, and Phonic is directly going for an engagement. But these are going to be free sentries as well, which always hurts. A couple of force fields being thrown down, but they are unfortunately in vain. And these Mutalisks is flying up behind and taking out the production facilities of Phonic. And this should be GG any moment now, as the army of him, or as his army gets wedged in between a rock and a hard place. Literally, fairly good blink away from the first fungal that went down, but the overwhelming tide of numbers will be too much, and this should be GG. There we go, and he leaves the game. Jathura goes 1-0 in the series so far, in this best of 3 in the losers bracket semi-final. So guys, come back for game 2, and we'll hopefully see Phonic tie the series up 1-1, or we might even see Jathura take this out in a clean sweep, being 2-0, and then move on to the grand final for a rematch.